Hello, sir. Good evening. Thank you for coming and giving your time for collegedunia.com, sir. It is a pleasure to have an interview with you. So, sir, I'll be starting with question like you have held key position at education institutes throughout your career. So,
Yeah,
what are the key factors that keep you connected with this sector, education sector in specific?
yeah. It's not that I've been throughout with the maritime education. I've been a sailor by profession and a teacher by passion. That's how I put myself across. So I've been sailing for over 16 years, and since 2000, I am with maritime education and training. It's been 14 years with the AMET for me. So I could say the specific values is teaching for every manner. Personally, I find it as giving back to the society. Whatever I learned during my 16 years of sailing, I'm sharing with the working seafarers and the future uh, masters and chief engineers of the shipping industry. So in this way, I find that it's a lot of value additions and contributions what I give back to the society. So we get a lot of satisfaction as a teacher.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was asking, being the Dean of MH, sir, you are telling about your passion for teaching also. So, what is your leadership philosophy, sir, and how do you describe your leadership style?
Yeah, when it comes to leadership, as you see, we have been a leader at sea as well, because being a master on board ships is it's a very important leadership portion. And as a leader, I feel there are some key attributes for a leader. Out of that, I could say the first is remaining calm and composed when it comes to any kind of challenges. The decision should not be impulsive, it should be thoughtful, and it deems a lot of patience on the point of the leader because there could be several challenges that we face in the day to day activity of in carrying out our responsibilities. So it's pretty important that we try to be a bit thoughtful and we should not react as a leader. He should not react. He or she should not react. Response uh, should be the best possible. What do you call? That means in the sense when I say response means there should be a pause between what you tend to do. It should not be impulsive. Between a stimulus and a response, there is a space, as said by Dr. Stephen Covey, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. So in this space, we have the freedom of choice. So I feel that patience is something very important. And over and trying to reach out to the vision of the university, vision and vision of the. We should align our responsibilities, our actions, so that we attain the ultimate vision and mission of the university. In that way, I find uh, a leadership job is challenging inculcating the qualities and attributes that are required to become a leader to our budding cadets.
Yes, sir. My question is regarding that, sir. How like do you strategize the key program and plan the courses for your college
Yeah.
for the
So we have
students?
a so we have a very clear process called the curriculum design and development. So this actually it is being we take the inputs and over and above, apart from our own market study on the demand, we have our own approval authorities. For example, we are an university which is coming under three different types. Primary approval is from the Director General of Shipping, and most importantly, we are also deemed to the university under the University Grants Commission, Section 3, and also we come under the AICT category. So there is All India Council of Technical Education. It's very important that when we strategize, we ensure that we meet the mentioned up to one body. There should not be any deviation. So that is taken as primarily as a requirement. And over and above, we see the demand. The student colleges, depending upon various factors, placement and the college environment and the way things move in the university. So, basis these things, we have been in the industry for experience for Silver Jubilee year. It's here in the market. So, in that way, I could say strategizing primarily it is basic upon the dependent on the market demands and also meeting with the requirements of the approval authority. That's what putting it in a nutshell.
Yes, sir. Very well said, sir. Like there's a deep process which is going on behind for strategizing the curriculum also. Sir, when you first came to EMIT, what was your vision for the college? And has it evolved over time, or how far is it in implementing the vision you have thought at the start?
So, called as a vision and mission. When we were an academy, our vision was very focused. We want to always to be the fountainhead of the maritime knowledge at any point of time. But as time evolved, you could see that the technology is creating a paradigm shift. So it is very important for a university to remain abreast of the current and latest technology. On our itself has evolved and our mission as well. We'd like to sustain our identity as a leader in the maritime industry, and also we want to promote research, and also more importantly, we want our cadets to be one of the important contributors to the welfare of the society. So takeaways is that when they come, the graduate training attributes that should reflect among not getting the degree and getting employment, over and above how they contribute as a value addition to the society. That is very important. So these are all put together. Our vision is addressed and meeting the global shipping industry in an uncompromising manner.
Yes, sir. I would ask you, would you give any suggestions for the current youth or aspiring students who would like to take up the maritime courses or nautical science courses? Any suggestions you have for the students, sir, who are willing to?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I would say precisely, this is a very, very rewarding career, of course, and it requires some sacrifice as well. Definitely you're going to get a lot of benefits out of this in terms of a change in your economical status, in terms of the world which is opening up for you, the experience what you're going to get from the world, and the experiences by meeting various people across all over the globe. You're not going to be a frog in the pond, but you're going to be a whale in the ocean. It's like that. So to be a successful seafarer, I always believe that any student, aspiring student for a maritime career, need to sacrifice 4 F's. That is family, favorite food, friends, and festival. What I mean by this, as a seafarer, you're going to be away from home. The sea is your second home, and you're going to be there. So when you're during these periods, during sailing, you're going to be away from home. So you should have the tenacity and the toughness within you to remain away from your family for a long duration. Then your favorite food, in the sense you get a beautiful food on board ships also. It's going to be continental, it's going to be your national delicacy as well. But at the same time, you will have your own flavors, which is prepared at home. Remember that you may not get it there, because there we have multi-dimensional, multicultural people coming and cooking for you. So you should pick up the taste and flavor what is there. So that's what I'm saying. Try to don't have a long lingering for your favorite. You get different delicacies, you should get used to that. Then your friends, of course, your near and dear are going to be away when you are sailing. Of course, in these days, unlike yesteryears, the communication is very fast and rapid. You stay connected with your friends as well. But being away from your physical visibility of your friends, it creates some time. So these are all you need to come up with. And festivals, of course. You tend to miss festival when you are sailing. But what do you get out of sacrificing these 4 F's? You get a fortune and your future. So when you sacrifice 4 F's, you get back 2 F's, your fortune and the future. And over a period of time, it's become a routine for you. This sacrificing 4 F's, it's at the initial level. Because for a cadet who is entering at the joining level as aspirant, he might be coming up with a lot of things, but within a month or so, he might find a sort of in the sense the charm, the thrill what he had. You might find a small dip in that, but it has to be overcome. He should know that he has picked up a career which is going to be for his life, and which is going to transform his lifestyle, where he can think of an alternative career within 10 to 15 years. Whether he wants to prolong at sea, that is a different thing. But by 15th or 20th year, you have got a beautiful resource with you, with which you can make an alternative careers as well. And sailing for the fittest is always there. So there are plenty of ways you can come up, and endurance is the most important thing. Remember, it is not an instantaneous process, but it is an eventual one. So you need to overcome the difficulties what are there at sea, and slowly you tend to you become a brave heart at sea, and you pick it up and then you walk along. That's how it is.
Yes, sir. It is very interesting, the four Fs which you told and which two Fs which they will get in return. Sir, regarding the opportunities for the students, what are the opportunities students get in terms of training or hands-on training? Because most of the training would be hands-on for the students. So can you please elaborate on the training and the opportunities which students get in Amet University?
Yeah. So training is, as you know, the job of a seafarer is a lot of hands-on work is there. There is rope work is there. There is boat work is there, and several aspects which are relating to shipboard operations. So these are all practical hands-on, which is not only theory, and you need to relate what you study in theory with your practical training. So we have an extensive seamanship lab is there, and also we have a facility where you can where you can learn nuances of navigations and other collision avoidance through in a virtual manner. And also we do have training facilities like we have a steering simulator lab, and we have a mock bridge there. So all these we put the cadets where try to put them on the spot and try to make them to take decisions, and we observe it. We observe their body language, their psychology, and whether they are able to apply the principles before taking any decisions. Like this, we give them the facility and ask them to do. So the more they do, the better they remember. So these are and a lot of research labs are as well there. And these are the very many facilities what we have. And after completing the 3 years of training in Amet, they need to go on board ships where they strategically align whatever they learned in theory and put them into practice. And that's how it goes.
Yes, sir. What would you like to tell people about your college, which people outside Amet would not know, sir? Generally, they think Amet University about the training and the placements scenarios. Anything special about Amet College which you would like to highlight, so which people may not know in particular?
Amet is a fab destination for all those who are trying to choose a career in the merchant navy, because we are the first and the foremost in India. As you know, we are the pioneer in starting a program called as the Higher National, which is now named as the Advanced Diploma in Nautical Science. So way back when the training was not even privatized, at that time we started the HND program in Nautical Engineering with approval from the Glasgow College in UK. And later on, that became a brainchild. That particular model became a box office hit, and many institutions started doing that. On this note, I would say Amet has been a pioneer in all aspects of innovation, especially with respect to maritime education and training. So starting with the HND, then going up, coming up with the BSc Nautical Science, and earlier we had a tie-up with BITS. And in 2007, we were established as the first maritime university in India, and wherein we got a special identity, and it was inaugurated by the then Chief General Secretary of the International Maritime Organization. So such was the pride of Amet, and now it is our 11th year as university, and we have crossed several milestones, and we have been growing up with leaps and bounds, with uncompromising strides of excellence. That's what I would say. And Amet is also the destination for a lot of post-graduation and research facilities, research pursuance. We have students pursuing higher educations with us. And now we have progressed and diverged into a multidisciplinary university. So we have, I could say it is a one-stop solution for all the marine-related career opportunities. Now we have several collaborative programs wherein students study in AMET and then the next half they do either in Europe or in other places with whom we have MOUs. So in that way, AMET, with respect to facilities and the way we have been coming more and more popular, and many things I think they need to come up to witness. As I told you, I can tell you a few things theoretically. So they need to visit us, then they will come to know the best aspects of AMET. That's what I could say. Or they can let know from our official website also.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your valuable time. It is very insightful interview from you. Students will be very inspired by this interview, and also I wish students will come to AMET University in person and visit the college. It is great interacting with you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
God bless. Yeah.